everyone. So I posted a video of my business partner Johnny talking about identity, and I've had a lot of feedback from this, and I just wanted to expand upon that a little bit more. So I've met many people throughout my years of training, and I've had the very great privilege of working and assisting on all kinds of levels, nutritionally, reflexology, training wise, with professional sports athletes, celebrities, and even dancers and actors and people like that. And a winning mindset fascinates me, and some people are really singular minded when it comes to these things. So I won't mention no names, he knows who he is, but I asked a man who had failed to win his boxing title a few times. I says, how did you pick yourself up after that? And he says, well, I was the champion. And I said, yes, but you'd not won the belt yet. He went, I was the champion. There was only time and effort standing in my way. And I thought, wow, do you know what I mean? That winning mentality, that he'd already won the belt in his mind. In his mind, he was already the champion. He was already the winner. He was already the owner of that belt. It was only time and effort that stood in his way. And often my clients that do very well have a change in identity. So it's how you think. I can relate to this way of thinking. When I wanted to get to a certain level with my dancing and things like this, and I remember I joined a new agent and I needed to be the best of the best kind of thing. And I thought, what do I have to do to get what I want? And soon I was training in the gym hard, I was practicing my skills, and as Will Smith says, I was spending hours and hours beating on my craft and harnessing that. Now, those that are very successful clients usually have a change in identity, and that isn't because they've changed personality or changed who they are. They're using their strengths. They're bringing forward their personality strengths to get what they want. So here's a question I want you to ask yourself. In order to get the health, the physique, the body shape, the muscle tone, the weight loss, the fat loss, the weight gain, what or who do you need to become? A person, you know, if you were a size 18 and you wanted to be a size 10, what would a size 10 person do? How would they be? How would they act? How would they walk? How often would they train? How would they eat? Are you willing to become that person in order to get what you want? Are you willing to sacrifice what you are to be to become what you want to be? Yeah, it's a very valid question, and some people go, no, I will not sacrifice my glass of wine every night. That's fine, but what are you willing to change? What identity are you willing to take on? There are some things you will say, I'm not going to change that. And then there's other things that people will say, and you'll say, yeah, I can change that. I'm happy to change that. I want you to identify what you will change and what you won't change, what you're willing to give up and what you're willing to keep, and the identity that you are going to be. Now, I've talked about this with quite a few clients recently that have done very well and they've lost loads of weight. And then there comes to that fear factor. Yeah, so the fear factor is when they look in the mirror, they realise they've lost weight, and then they go and they shove it all back on again. And the reason for that is they've not quite changed their identity, and the old you is going, who's that? so I want the change of identity to be happening in here. People then go, I remember a lady saying, oh, all thin people are cowbags. And I was like, what? And she went, all thin people are cowbags. And I went, well, if you believe that, why would you ever be thin? You know? Oh, thin people are rude. You know, it's what associations do you have with the way you want to look. So you want to look a certain way, but if there's negative associations attached to those physiques, you will not look like that. You will move away from it. So I want you to think of all the positive attributes attached to the physique that you want and the health that you want. And I want you to think, how will I take that on? I know my family and some of my friends tease me when I have to enter a conference or a seminar or even a building where there are many, many people that are going to see me. I go into dancer mode, yeah? So my posture changes. I stand up straight, the chin raises. I walk in, I own the space. I don't do that when I'm in my jammies at home, do you know what I mean? But I take on the identity that's needed for the seminar, the stage presence, the professionalism that I need to project. I take on that identity. My family tease me because they see the physical change in me before I enter. So I want you to think about this. If you're a size 16 wanting to be a size 10 or a size 10 wanting to be a size 16, how does that person move? How do they walk? How do they talk? How do they eat? What training sessions do they do? How would you envisage them to be? Are they confident? Are they happy? Are they, all of these questions have to be asked, and I wanted to expand on that, yeah? And I want you to own that future body, that future health, that future happiness as it's now. So, like my boxer friend who said, but I was the champion. Even before he'd won the belt, he was the champion. It was only effort and time that stood in his way. And I put earlier this week that the hardest thing in the world is the decision to become that person. Normally, people think it's going to be tremendously hard work, that it's going to be unbelievable, but it's the decision to take on that identity that is the hardest part. Then when they're through it and I say to them, how was it? 9 times out of 10 they say, actually, it's not as hard as I thought it would be. It's quite easy, actually. The hardest part was the decision to become that person. So I wanted to leave you with that information, just to let you have a play about with that in your mind, and see what you do. Ladies, we change our identity all the time. All the time. You'll have an identity at work. You'll have your mommy identity. You'll have your wife identity or your partner identity. You'll have, your high heels and going out identity. We do that all the time. What I want you to do is I want you to take on the identity of the physique and health you want, and I want you to carry that through. I want you to start today. I want you to start today, and I want you to start being that person. And before you know it, you'll look in the mirror and that person will be looking right back at you. So I'm going to leave you with that. I hope that's helped, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.